everybody, it's Cherie. I am going to do a flip through of my latest Nancy Drew junk journal that I made. I just finished. It's up in my Etsy shop already, but I haven't had a chance to do a flip through. So this one is Mystery of the Tolling Bell, number 23. It's tied with a bright yellow ribbon. It's got 2 signatures, and I have reinforced the spine with fabric as well as with Tyvek. And I have included some of the original book pages. So this book was owned by someone named Laura something, and it cost $1.95. So I've just left those in there. You can cover them or whatever. I just thought it's kind of interesting to see some little girl, you know, that's definitely little kids writing. So there's the fabric finished off with a zigzag trim. So now I've sewed the pages with other pages to, so the original book pages could be in the book. This is from a vintage flower book. This is just scrapbooking paper. There's the title page. So this one is copyright 1973. So it's a bit of a, you know, it's definitely vintage. We've got a nice piece of vellum, over a little bit of the book. I forget what that's called. There's a name for that, but anyway. This book had quite a few illustrations, so I've included those all through the book. This is just a piece of notebook paper with a pretty sticker. And we've got the table of contents. See, again, that's how I don't know if you can see that, but that's how I sew them in with another piece in the center, and then gives it the spine to put in the signature. This is an old planner page notebook, another one of the illustrations, some vintage from the 80s notebook paper I got from my mother-in-law's house. This is an envelope, which I put a piece of a page on it, and then I've just included some pages of the book in there. You can write on them, journal on them, whatever. Another illustration. This is the center of the first signature, and I've just done a couple of little pockets on each side. There's a little tag, and then we've got more of the book pages. This is the other part of the envelope, the other part of the vintage paper. Lots of room. I didn't embellish these heavily because, you know, you can put your mark on them that way. So I have some die cuts of 50s dresses, so that's held in there with a nice paper clip. The other part of the vellum, scrapbook paper, the other half of the vintage book, and then that's the first signature. And then so this is the second one. I've got a piece of my copy dyed paper. That's actually the last one. I've got to do some more. We have a little tuck spot here with a nice little 50s girl, scrapbook paper. This is another envelope that I've decorated up a little bit. I've left you room to put whatever else you would like, and some more empty, or pardon me, not empty, but pages of the book. More vellum. I love these illustrations. They just make me laugh. I loved Nancy Drew as a child. I read all of them, I'm sure, at least once. So this is a piece of scrapbook paper which I printed on, and more scrapbook. These are just a sticker I found on the internet. I thought that was kind of cute for a detective book. This is this is the center. So this is one of the bookend pages that I have sewn and glued onto. And then I've just got some little bit of ephemera in here. This is a little notebook that I've made that you can put things in. And then I also put Bess and more stickers. There's a little die cut that makes me think of Nancy Drew with her candle. More illustrations. Okay, and yeah, very, very simple, not a lot in it. George, one of her bosom buddies, George and Bess. And, oops, sorry. And this is the vellum, and then the other half of that envelope. These are vintage envelopes, actually, I think. They came with cards from my thrift store, and the cards were quite vintage. So, but I had a hard time finding envelopes to fit this size of the book, so that's why those are in there. And yeah, that's kind of the end of it. So this is, like I said, up for sale in my Etsy shop. Keep in mind, this is, you know, a book from 1973, so it is, you know, over 50 years old, 50, 52, whatever. Please don't check my math. It's early in the morning. And it's just a really fun little journal, especially if you have a little detective or you as a child were into the Nancy Drew books. Yeah, so The Mystery of the Tolling Bell in my Etsy shop now. So thank you so much for watching, and we will catch you next time. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.